So the first coin or the first layer 2 we are looking at is Arbitrum or the ARB coin itself. So it has been going down ever since the biggest I would say the biggest token unlocks. So that actually happened back in March, as you can see here, and right after that we did have a pretty big downtrend for the Arbitrum, and it has been in the downtrend ever since then. So it does not look good as of now. Of course it has actually recovered quite good, but still it's not that much, and I think it's in the downtrend for a long term from now on, because even we still have a lot of supply to go, and we do have monthly unlocks for the investors, and I think that means we'll see a lot of sell pressure in the future as well. Because if you just look here, the investors got around 438 million tokens, which the worth at that moment at somewhere around here was pretty big one. So I think that did take a profit. And if you just look here, this is a lot of selling for the Arbitrum, and I think that happened because of those investors getting their tokens. So that does not look good. As of now, the investors again will get around, I think, 36 million tokens in 15 days along with team and advisors. So that means we'll probably see again a sell pressure for the Arbitrum in the future. Of course, Arbitrum itself has been doing pretty awesome. If you look at the Arbitrum DeFi, it looks pretty good. If you just look here, it's around 3 billion, and it has been actually doing pretty awesome, and I think it will actually continue to do so. But we also have other layer 2 actually coming up. We have Blast and Base. Those have actually the Blast is actually doing pretty awesome. As you can see, it has been growing rapidly. As you can see, it's around 2.24 billion, but I think the Blast will actually see a pretty good correction once they actually do release their tokens. But as for the base I think is going up because it's backed by the Coinbase, and I think that is one of the main reasons why it has been doing awesome, and I think it won't stop. So I think we'll see a correction for the Blast once they do release their token, because as of now most of the people I think are in for the airdrop. So once they do receive the airdrop, I think the Blast will most likely see a correction. But as for the Arbitrum, it has been actually struggling if we look at the Blast and Base, because both Base and Blast have making new highs, and whereas Arbitrum is actually trying to break its previous high, which was around 3.22 billion, as you can see in terms of TVL. So if it does ends up breaking out the TVL, I think it could actually go up again, but as of now it's actually just around 3 billion, but still it's a lot because it did recover pretty good from hitting as low as 2.5 billion. So we have actually seen 500 million increase in just, I think, from the May 18th. So in just 12 days we have seen a pretty big increase. That's pretty good for the Arbitrum as well. So in terms of their Twitter is active as it can be. As you can see, we do have a lot of posting from the Arbitrum Foundation, and they have been making actually a lot of partnerships, or there are a lot of ecosystem projects launching on the Arbitrum that is given, and I think the Arbitrum's ecosystem is actually growing rapidly. But we do have other layer 2 such as Blast and Base actually increasing. So I think they will give a tough time to Arbitrum in the future, but as of now I think Arbitrum is the biggest one, and as of now I think it will be the biggest one as of now, because the Blast still needs around 700 million TVL to actually reach Arbitrum. So I think Arbitrum is pretty okay as of now when it comes to the DeFi TVL. So if we look at the biggest update, so on the April 15th they did have actually fraud proofs to so they did have, I think, their testnet actually went live for the stage 2 rollup. So it's bold permissionless validation on Arbitrum. So it's in the actually testnet. So I think that could be big because they have actually pinned it on their main page or on their Twitter. So beside that, we do have the Arbitrum DAO, which is pretty active as usual. So which is pretty awesome because the DAO is actually pretty active. So that's pretty good. So when it comes to the Arbitrum tokens, I think we'll see. I think we actually need to see this sell pressure go off. So I think it will go off once the investor get their tokens, so they will get most of their tokens by 2027. So I think Arbitrum will see sell pressure whenever it does go up, because if you just look here, it went up over, if we just look here, it actually went up over 40%, as you can see, or 35%, but right after that it did actually see a lot of sell pressure, and I think it will continue to do so whenever it pumps, because there are a lot of investors, I think, waiting to sell as it goes up. So I think that is the biggest problem with Arbitrum as of now, in my opinion. So I think everyone has their own opinion, it's just my opinion. So still I think this one is still the biggest layer one, and I think this one is still pretty good coin. So I think the best way to actually trade this coin is to actually get it on demand zones and trade it as it and sell it as it goes up. So I'm actually looking at the trade zone, which is pretty awesome, and I think that is the only one entry which I would be actually interested in, so which is around 78 to 73 cent. And I think if it does ends up hitting this zone, I think it will probably bounce back, and it could actually end up hitting $1 or even more than that. So that's pretty good, because if you look here, it did reject from here, and which was a pretty good resistance, I think. So I think we are actually heading towards at least 90 cents, so that is also a pretty good entry. So overall, Arbitrum in the long run, I don't think that it's going to actually break this all-time high, but if we do see a crazy amount of hype or demand for the layer 2s, I think the Arbitrum could actually end up breaking this high, but as of now it does not seem like it will. So as of now, I think I would like both of these entries, and after that, if it does pump, I think the best way to sell it is around 1.25 or even around 1.5 is pretty good, or I think something like 1.44 is also pretty good for a sale point, or I think we do have a pretty good sale area around 1.82, that's pretty good as well. So overall, as of now, I think Arbitrum is bearish, and once we do see a sell pressure, or most of the investors do sell their tokens, I think it could go up. But as of now, there is no way to tell how many coins they are holding. So we have to be careful, or you have to be careful if you're holding Arbitrum, only because of their tokenomics. Or overall, the Arbitrum looks pretty good, but I think the investors do get around 1.7 billion tokens, which is 17% of the total supply or the max supply. So the Arbitrum has a max supply of around 10 billion, and 1.7 billion goes to the investors, and I think that's not good. Still, overall, Arbitrum itself is bullish if you look at their DeFi, but as for their tokens, I think there is a lot of sell pressure coming in. So this is it for the Arbitrum. Let me know what do you think about the Arbitrum in the comment section below.